Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is MRN's Wing Nation Weekend, presented by Hefner Racing Products, setting you up for the big race weekend. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post, and still another big weekend ahead of us.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. It is the final chapter of the 2018 edition of the Pennsylvania Posse versus the World of Outlaws, and this one, there's $51,000 on the line with the Tuscarora 50, so we'll preview that. Actually going to have Brock Zearfoss on. Outlaw, All-Star, former Port Royal champion, so he's got a little bit of every connection there. So we're going to talk to Brock along the way. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, they're going to wrap it up at Creek County Speedway in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Yes.
One of your favorites.
One of my favorites, Sapulpa, Oklahoma. And they'll be flip-flopping in West Memphis. We'll tell you all about flip-flopping in West Memphis. So big show, big weekend coming up. And when we come back, we'll talk to Brock Zearfoss.
No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Built in the USA, HRP is the manufacturer of the original recessed rivet wing, including their premier Shark Wing series, as well as the new Racer Series Sprint Car Wing. Hefner Racing Products wings are available for sprint cars, mini and micro sprints, winged outlaw karts, and junior sprints. HRP is the leader in mule conversions, manufactures and sells a full line of sprint car components, including Nerf bars and bumpers, front axles, precision laser cut chassis building tabs, brackets, tubes, and spuds. HRP has the absolute largest selection of trailer and shop accessories available to sprint car racers. When it comes to setting up your trailer or shop, HRP is the choice for the best in trailer and shop storage and organization accessories. Hefner Racing Products. Visit them and shop online at hrpracing.com. Now back to the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, presented by Hefner Racing Products.
Having a ball. We're glad you joined us. It is MRN's Wing Nation Weekend, presented by Hefner Racing Products. Of course, our friends at Hefner Racing Products, www.hrpracing.com. That's hrpracing.com. Well, we're talking about Port Royal. We're talking about World of Outlaws, and who's a guy that knows all of those much more than we do? We figure he's the driver of the number 4 Destiny Motorsports car. Brock Zearfoss joins us on the hotline. Hello, Brock. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Always a pleasure to be on.
Well, always a treat to talk to you, and we wanted to, we were kind of like, well, who can cover all boundaries for us, and you're pretty good to do that. We'll talk a little bit about the Tuscarora 50 and everything at Port Royal, but Brock, you're a month and a half, 2 months into this. Maybe it's been a month. I don't know. Time flies when you're on the road. You're partnering up with Destiny Motorsports. How has that gone? How has the second half of your season been with that new deal?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. Obviously you have your hiccups or ups and downs, but we got off to a good start there at Knoxville, and just kind of had some good runs here and there, seeing a lot of new places, and had some good success at some of them places, and some of them places we struggled a little bit, but that's just part of the deal, part of seeing new things and working with the new team. So so far so good, I would say. I think we're off to a good start.
Brock, talk about what it's like to work with a new team, kind of mid-season, working maybe, I don't know the crew chief situation, but the crew members, new cars, new chassis. Just talk about how difficult that is, especially mid-season.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little more difficult than what it would be running your own stuff. Fortunately, I was able to keep the same cars and same motor package, so made life a little easier there. But other than that, it's a whole new crew chief, just a whole new group of guys. So you kind of got to try and gel real quick, which, we did. And so far, we're working really good together. And you got to kind of rely on them guys when you see new places. And they've been there a few times. So, you just kind of got to bounce stuff off of each other. When we go back to PA, we kind of rely on me a little bit, and with the tracks around there, and then everywhere else, it's pretty much I got to rely on them guys to get us close. So that's what we've done so far. We just kind of roll with the punches there and get us close and just try and get the best finishes we can.
Brock, of course, you're from Central Pennsylvania, and we know the standard track in Central Pennsylvania is usually a big half mile. Lincoln's a little bit smaller, and yeah, you'll run at Path or you'll run at Grandview or whatever it is. But really, we talk about the challenge for guys coming into Pennsylvania is getting comfortable on the big half miles, and for you guys that race Pennsylvania, it's that being used to half miles. I set all of that up to get to the question. As you've gotten out and traveled a little bit, are there some things that have been especially challenging for you? Have there been some things that maybe have surprised you, different types of tracks that you've excelled at or struggled at? What's that been like with adapting to so much different than what you're used to in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I mean, it's Pennsylvania is just a different all in itself. I mean, you have nothing but big half mile racetracks. Obviously, you have Lincoln and Path Valley. But coming from me, I didn't really run Lincoln much, so I don't have a lot of short track experience. But we go out on the road here, and then 3/4 of the racetracks are 3/8 to quarter miles. So, it's a little bit of a challenge for me, but we've adapted pretty well. I would say the biggest thing is trying to adjust to the track surfaces. I mean, just there at Lakeside, I figured out that I needed to change my driving style just a little bit, because I'm so used to racing at home where you need to either be right on the bottom getting in or right against the curve getting in. And, these other tracks, they have a little bit of moisture through the middle where you can open your entry up a little bit and make your corner a little better. But, that's just some things you got to learn along the way. And, we changed that a little bit in the B main, and I got to be able to do that through the A main too. And we actually had to hard charge our Lakeside, so that was good. And, it's all different. I mean, Pennsylvania is its own breed, so to get out in the Midwest and stuff and see them racetracks, you got to adjust quick.
Brock, with all that said, going on out on the road to all these new tracks, talk about what it's like now to come home to Pennsylvania, run a track that you're previous champion at, a multiple-time winner. How exciting is it for you to come back to something that's so comfortable?
I'm excited. I mean, this is the best place in Central PA, in my opinion. These guys, they work really hard, and it's not knocking all the other tracks in Central PA, but these guys really put the effort into it, and they enjoy watching the people come, and it shows. I mean, it's my favorite racetrack in PA, if not the whole country, from where I've been so far. So, like I said, we had success there and won the championship last year, and it's definitely a race I've been looking forward to get to race this year. I mean, we finished third last year, which was fortunate to seal the championship for us, and hopefully we can get 2 spots better this weekend and get one under our belt.
How do you, and if you knew the answer, you'd do it or you'd be Lance Deweese. How do you budget your car for 50 laps at Port Royal? What did you learn last year that's going to help you budget your car for 50 laps next year?
I would say the biggest thing would be tire management.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to be able to change tires after the break there at halfway. So you got to keep your tires underneath you. Obviously it's 50 laps, so you got to have some tire under you on lap 50 to be able to have a chance. So last year was just kind of that deal, just try and ride around and for the first half and see where you're at after the break, and then maybe give it 5 or 6, maybe 7 laps, and then have at it. But it was fortunate enough we started 7th, and I think we were running 3rd by that break, and I really wasn't even pushing the car. I mean, I think our tires were abused just a little bit, but we didn't have anything for Lance last year, that was for sure. But just wanted to try and keep them guys as close as we could and give ourselves a chance, which we did, but obviously we couldn't get the job done. So like I said, hopefully we can be in that position this year and be able to get it done.
Absolutely. Brock, with the Tuscarora 50 being an outlaw sanctioned race this year, I mean, it's always been one of the highlighted shows in the Pennsylvania schedule, but now this year with the rain delay reschedule, it's an outlaw show. Talk about how that adds. I mean, you've been out there running with the Outlaws. Obviously, there's a whole outlaw PA posse rivalry, but it just seems to add a whole other element to the Tuscarora 50 this year.
Yeah, I mean, Tuscarora 50 is one of the biggest races around. to begin with, and now you add 15, 20 extra guys that are best in the country. It's just going to make it that much harder. I mean, you got to be on more than what you are normally for that race. So, like I said, it's going to be a tough 50 laps. You know, you're going to have 20 extra really good guys, you know, chomping at the bit too, and it gives them guys a chance that they always wanted to race this race, and you know they're going to be hungry for it too, and it's just going to be a really good event. I think the atmosphere is going to be pretty cool, so hopefully everybody that listening can make it out.
I think it will be. I think it'll be really cool. That's for sure. Final question for you, Brock, before we cut you loose here. As we've talked about, you've been a homebody as far as your racing goes in Pennsylvania. What's life like away from the racetrack on the road now? Is it what you expected, or are there things that you love, or the things you don't really care for? What's that been like being on the road more?
It's been a change of pace, that's for sure. I mean, you know, you go from working a 40-hour day job to waking up in the morning and heading to the race shop and playing with race cars all day. So, I mean, but, you know, in the same token, you know, I'm out here in Indiana now, 9 hours away from home, away from family. So it's a little change of pace. Like I said, you know, you don't get to see your family as much as you do normally, but, you know, you're stuck with the same guys every day. Hopefully we can all get along, which is so far so good for us. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a change of pace. I mean, so far so good. Like I said, I'm really enjoying it. But, you know, it's going to be good to get home here and see some family members and you know, see the people that you love.
I said the last one was my last question. I promise this one is. I was just thinking about it. Have you guys, and don't tell us anything if it's not out there, have you guys looked forward beyond the World Finals, or are you just working to get through the World Finals and then you'll sit down and go forward with anything?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get obviously through Charlotte here, and you know, so far everything's looking forward to next year. But obviously we'll just sit down and evaluate what's going on. But yeah, I mean, we'll just get through Charlotte here and see what happens.
Appreciate that. I know sometimes we're right, especially this time of year, there's a lot of chatter going on out there. So hope that certainly works out for you, for your best along the way. Brock, we wish you the best at Port Royal. We'll see you next week here in Charlotte, but thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Always a pleasure.
There we go. Brock Zearfoss. I'm telling you, that's just a good dude right there. I've enjoyed getting a chance to chat with him a little bit. And I saw him at Lakeside. We hung out in the same group of people there. Didn't get a chance to talk to him as much as I'd like to. But, man, that guy will wheel a race car for you, too.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to be fun to watch up there. He's going to be fun to watch because he's got a little bit of a home track advantage. And he's got that outlaw experience as well. So and he finished third last year. So maybe he can put it together. We'll see what happens. So great stuff. Way that's going to work is the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Cars, Port Royal Speedway. Friday night is the Nittany Showdown. Now, this was scheduled all along as a 2-day weekend. It was going to be the 2-day Nittany Showdown weekend. When the Tuscarora 50 on September got rained out, it became the Friday night Nittany Showdown race and the Tuscarora 50. I'll also mention what Brock said, talking to drivers at Lakeside last week. There are a lot of World of Outlaw drivers that never realize they may have a shot and one shot only to win the Tuscarora 50.
When you think
I had two drivers say to me that Tuscarora 50 has never been a race because it's always been the first week of September when they're on the West Coast. And I've had two drivers say to me, this might be my only shot to win the Tuscarora 50. And when you think about it in that perspective, that's pretty neat stuff. This is going to be a big one. That is for sure at the Speed Palace. So can't wait to see what happens there. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. It's the John Christner Trucking Fall Fling. It's at Creek County Speedway, Friday and Saturday night in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. And the point battle is Sam Hayford-Teep Jr.'s to lose. He can lose it, but he's got to have a major fumble. Steal something from football there. He's got to have a major fumble. He's got a little bit of a margin over Seth Bergman. And it's also the season finale of the American Bank of Oklahoma Red River region. And if you can't make it to Sapulpa, well, shame on you, first off. But you can check out www.racinboys.com. They'll have the audio call, and then for their premium members, they will have the video of the A-Main. Okay, our friend Pete Walton with the USCS, the Flip Flop 54. That sounds about like a Pete Walton production right there. The Flip Flop 54 at Riverside International Raceway. How this one works is they do, it's 2 27-lap features. They'll start the first one straight up, and they'll do a full invert on the second one. So that is, this one was rained out a couple weeks ago. I know, rained out a couple weeks ago seems to be a common phrase we're using this year. But it's the Flip Flop 54 at Riverside International Speedway. So great stuff out in West Memphis. Upcoming for us, okay, coming up next week, we've got not one, but two special edition shows coming up on Wednesday, October 21st. Our buddies Rip the Fence, Tyler and Dylan. If you haven't checked that podcast out, go to mrn.com and check out Rip the Fence. They're also on SoundCloud. And this podcast is phenomenal. They are doing some great things. Okay, we're going to team up with those rascals with us at Wing Nation. We're going to be up at Millbridge Speedway, and it's the Keith Coons Give Back Classic pre-race show for the Champ Carts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal.
And to see someone earn a spot
in the Chili Bowl with the Keith Coons car.
I mean, that's a trophy, all right.
Our big problem right now is Dylan Welch is the co-host of this show.
Yeah.
And he's got other work commitments. So I'm actually doing it, but we're afraid he's going to like parachute into one of those cars to try to get the Keith Coons ride.
Yeah.
Although Dylan's got his own deal set up too for the Chili Bowl.
Oh.
So yes. So, but yeah, a Keith Coon rides for the Chili Bowl will be on board for the Champ. That's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So we're going to be up there, I think, at 4 o'clock doing the pre-race show. And then we're just going to sit back and watch and have a ball, see them go. Now, on Friday, November 2nd, at 2 o'clock, it is the Wing Nation at the World Finals. Now, we're doing a special show. We're going to be at the Pavilion by the Z-Max Dragway. They're having a big fan appreciation event. So all y'all camping there, all y'all in the hotels, come on over. 2 o'clock, we're going to have all the stars and all the cars, and we're going to have a good time for a special edition of Wing Nation at the Pavilion by Z-Max Dragway. Now, we want to remind you that across the board, we've launched this new Wing Nation Presents. Hope you're checking that out. We started with Danny Dietrich. We went to David Gravel, and this week, Ashley sat down with Mandy Pittman and Zan Smith. Girl Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Girl Talk. There we go.
Girl Sprint Car Talk.
Girl Sprint Car Talk. That's right. So we have that on wingnation.com. Okay, and wingnation.com, we also have the broadcast calendar. Folks, here's just what you need to do. You know where you log on and you're ready to oogle and Google and Facebook and FaceTime and chat and Snap Google or whatever it's called.
Snap
or whatever it is.
Google.
And when you do that, just there's a setting up on the upper, like in mine, it's the upper right-hand corner. It says set as homepage. Just go wingnation.com. Set it as your homepage.
Not Snap Google.
Not Snap Google, no. Set it as your homepage and then just have Wing Nation right there all the time. So, because we're dropping stuff all the time on there. I mean, we're just not flopping turkeys with this thing anymore. We got stuff going on all the time. And instead of Snap Googling, you can Wing Nation it. So just set that as your homepage. You all right over there?
Yeah. You're going off the rails, but I like it.
Imagine that.
It's good stuff.
Imagine that. Off the rails. It's World Finals time. We're all, it's Pennsylvania versus the Outlaws into the World Finals. If there is a time of the year to go off the rails, it's this time of the year.
It is now.
It is now. That is for sure. So, hey, you can catch the broadcast calendar over there at wingnation.com. Our friends, Hepner Racing Products, of course, now is the time to start restocking the stuff, okay? Get your shop set back up. You may be tearing your trailer apart. Man, they've got all of the organizational items that you can do for the trailers. If you need a mule, or a bull, you can do that. Whatever you need, you just check it out. You can just sit there on their Hepner Racing Products site, www.hrpracing.com. Check that out as well. And finally, okay, we had a track champion at Knoxville that we've been going around and around. We got to talk to Austin McCarl. We're getting to the end of the year, and it's like Austin McCarl is going to join us on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. He went and he actually ran the Trophy Cup.
Yeah,
so he did that a little bit, and he's coming to the World Finals, but we'll talk to Austin this week on our Wing Nation program over on MAV TV.
This has been the Wing Nation Weekend Podcast, brought to you by Hepner Racing Products. The Wing Nation Weekend Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.